There we are. I was like, okay, brighten up. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everybody is doing well. So, you can see from in the chat that JJ is with us this evening. So I did hear from him yesterday, and he has had the surgery recovering. So, that's awesome, and I'm glad to hear that. Uh, Not a good time. So, JJ, I'm just going to say this, and I think everybody else will agree. That's enough surgeries. No more surgeries. No more drama. You know, let's get back to trying to get back to as normal as you possibly can be, whatever that normal is. All right. I'm glad you're with us tonight, brother. And like I said, speedy recovery. Speedy recovery. So, all right. So before we jump into anything, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat, no racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, um, what will happen is those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches will boot you out of here because we are not going to have it. All right? So let's just all have an enjoyable chat and share information and go from there. All right, so obviously everybody kind of knows what's going on around the world. You know, not only did we send the first, the Gerald Ford and its armada of ships, we sent a second group as well. You know, JJ's officially the $6 million man. Yeah, right, exactly. Um, you know, my gut feeling, I'm telling you right now, and I've been saying this for a while. You got to understand. You have to look at the bigger picture of stuff with a lot of things. Yeah, two craft carriers is better than one. Yeah, well, this is what my thought process is on that. We've had 22 Americans killed. Now, the question would be, were those 22 Americans that had dual citizenship or not, right? And how many of those 22 Americans were living full time in Israel? I mean, I don't know the answers to those questions. Okay, we're not doing that right now. You need to relax. I don't know the answers to those questions, but, that is, Hella, stop. We're not doing that now. I said, relax. Um, but 22 Americans were killed, right? So I don't, I foresee possibly, yeah. There's a bunch of they were saying that the Navy SEALs, SEAL Team 6, was involved with trying to get hostages out because they're talking about there's also American hostages, and so that technically we have boots on the ground right now there with the Navy SEALs being in the area, and they're not going to like share their information of what they're doing, but they're not anybody you want to really mess with either. They're also preparing for they called up 300,000 reservists. Israel did, and they are massing on the border, and I think you're going to see you know the old term is all hell break loose. I think you know regardless. Now there's been rumors. Okay, so we're going to go kind of break this down in sections here. There's been rumors. Egypt was saying that Israel ignored intel. Ed, does that country require an? You know what? That's not the her. Guys, would you take care of the supposed Angela Fleming there? So, and thank you ahead of time. Yeah. All right. But anyway, so Egypt is saying that they are. Lost my train of thought for a moment, so give me just 1 second. Egypt was saying that Israel ignored intel that something big was coming. Now, I don't know if that was true. I don't know if that was not true. Okay. But when you look at that situation, if it was true and they allowed something to happen to have a reason to retaliate and to look good in the eyes of the world because they're just seeking vengeance for what happened to them, right? So you can look at it that way. Is that the case? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not privy to that information. I mean, you're hearing all different things coming in But I don't see how anybody on that sides with Hamas. I don't see how you can justify, if you're going to kill soldiers, okay? But with what they did during the attacks, going after women and children and stuff like that, and targeting women and children, uh, that's an issue. That is an issue, and but you know, who knows what the truth is? Who knows what is not the truth? Now, did that happen? Again, that's something we really don't know. They could show you pictures of anything and say, look, this is what happened. They've done those things before, the news media has, right? We've seen these horrific images of something, and they were saying it was this event, and then down the road you hear, well, that happened from something from 5 years previous. So how trusted is the trusted news media realistically? I mean, that's what you have to think about as well. Are they really trustworthy with what they're saying, or is there an agenda? So real quick, we're at 343 in the chat. We got 100 thumbs up so far. I'm going to ask you right away. Let's see how high we can get it up here tonight. So if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And again, I thank you ahead of time. It really does make a big difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And thank you ahead of time. All right, so we're getting all this information in, right? We're getting all this information in. What we do know is true is that Hamas attacked Israel. That we know for a fact. We also know for a fact that Israel has declared war on Hamas, and they have basically cut them off from being able to get food, gas, or any other supplies, and they are wreaking havoc, in the Gaza Strip there. And like I said, personally, I don't blame them at all. But again, we're never ever going to know what the true truth of everything is. But going back to the other part of this, with Americans being killed, right? Possible Americans being held hostage. Don't know for sure yet. It's a possibility. You're looking at a situation which could cause us, the United States of America, to get more involved than we should be, to be honest with you. To me personally, and if you feel differently, that's perfectly fine. But to me, if you go to a foreign country, I don't care where it is, and something happens, that's on you. You're taking a chance by traveling to countries that maybe are not American friendly, right? So a lot of times what happens when people go overseas, and they ask you where you're from, a lot of times what Americans will say, oh, I'm from Canada, because it's a different thing. Still speak English, still act whatever, but they do that to kind of throw them off. It happens. But again, it's been awful what's been going on in Gaza. Oh, I don't doubt it. But again, Jake, did they not bring it upon themselves? Realistically, and now they're calling for this big jihad, and it's just, the whole thing is just, I know that a lot of people want to blame all the Muslims for everything, right? All Muslims, they're the same, blah 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 blah. They're really not. A lot of Muslims are decent, hardworking people. We have a lot of Americans that are Muslim here. Okay, it doesn't mean that all of a sudden, all these Americans are going to just rise up and decide to be a martyr, if you will, and just start killing people. It's not how it works. It's extremists. It's extremists within a religion. I mean, you look at any religion, there are extremists in any religion out there that will die for the cause. And that's what a lot of these people were doing, with this situation. They knew going in there that a lot of them were not going to come back. And that's what they were willing to do. To be that devout in anything, to waste your life, to me is insanity. You know what? This is what always amazed me about those situations. Again, JJ, you want to take care of that for me, please? And thank you. Um, what kills me is you have the situation going and where these people are playing all these games, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. But one thing you'll never see any of the clerics, right, the leaders of these groups saying, I'm willing to do the same thing in leading the way. No, they don't do that. They don't do that. They want the young people. Hey, Pam, that territory was won in war by Israel and should be kept, even if by war. Absolutely. And I've said that myself how many times? How many times have I said that? They won it, they beat them, they get to keep it. And somebody said something to the effect, thank you very much for the statement, and thank you so much for the donation as well. I do appreciate that. Somebody had made a statement about what were they saying? They were saying, oh, so when the people from Gaza came over there and like attacked Israel, should they keep that land? Did they win it, or did they lose it back already? Right. So Israel has a chance to, retaliate. They are, and if they wanted to get rid of all the people in the Gaza Strip, to me, hey, you reap what you sow. You have a group of people that their whole intent, their one intent, is to kill everybody that is Israeli or is a Jew. I'm sorry. Let's rechange. There's a big difference between, in my opinion, there's a big difference between being a Jew and being an Israeli. Israelis, they are no joke. They are not anybody you want to screw with, because they've had to fight over and over and over again. How many times from fanaticals that want them all dead? I mean, Jewish people. We have a lot of Jewish people, obviously, here in the states as well. Whatever, I don't care. You know what I mean? Honestly, it's so amazing to me, right? The hatred that people have, um, for other people. It's just because they're different, because they're a different religion or a different color. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really, and I don't think I ever will. Just it is amazing to me. But the situation is, we may, meaning the United States, get more involved than we want to be. And that's never going to be a good thing. That is not going to end well. You don't think, and this is a question, right? This is a question. You don't think with our porous southern border that has been going on for how long, that organized groups, and I'm not talking about, the thousand families from Guatemala that came up and went to the border and said, "Oh, here we're here for asylum." I'm talking about the ones that know what they're doing, how to get across, and how to get across without being detected. How many of those sleeper cells do you think we have in this country that are sitting there waiting for orders? Just waiting for orders. And and I've talked about this, guys, a million and one times, and I'm going to talk about it again right now because to me it's that important. If I was a sleeper cell and I had plans to hurt or destroy America, there's only one way to do it. One. That's it. One way to do it. Go for the power grid. Simple. Simple as that. There's no other way to do it, because if you go after the power grid, we will kill ourselves. We don't have to be invaded by anybody else. We will kill ourselves, because people will fight over the lack of supplies and what's not here. And if the power is going to be out for any length of time, that's going to be the issue. So very sad, unfortunately, um, but it's a reality. So my question to a lot of you that are watching, obviously, if you're watching my channel, you know that I'm a prepping channel, being as independent as possible. What are you doing to make sure, right, that you can survive whatever's coming? Hey, Pam, imagine if we keep all the territories the U.S. fought for and spent for, Americans died and maintained, etc., instead of just wasting our powers. Well, let's go one step further, Pam. Like, let's use Iraq, right? So we went in and destroyed Iraq, great havoc, wiped out everything, right? And then what did we do? What did we do? We went in and rebuilt, right? We rebuilt everything. And then we gave it back to them. Well, technically. We still probably run a lot of the things that are going on in Iraq, but we technically gave it back. Why didn't we just keep it? I Like I said, I've said before, if I was going to take over a country, so people, oh well, they would attack. There would be this, there would be that. And again, I have the simple answer for that, folks. I really do. We take over a territory. We say, here's the perimeter. Okay, you're not allowed in here. This is ours. We own this now. If one American soldier is killed, right? One American soldier is killed, we kill 1,000 of the natives. Period. End of story. And I will tell you what, if you did that, there would not be attacks on American troops. There just wouldn't be. There wouldn't be sabotage. There wouldn't be anything because they would know what the price would be, what they would pay if they killed American soldiers. End of story. I'm sorry, but that's how it would have to be done. And if we did that, if we had the cojones to do that, but we have to make sure, we have to be seen as the good guys in the American public's eyes. We have to be seen as the good guys because if we're not the good guys, then that's not a good thing. But the rest of the world doesn't see us as the good guys. They don't. So you know what? Just if you're going to do something, do it 100%. Bring down all the force that you can possibly bring down on your enemies. Don't hold back. Don't let our governments fight these wars. Let our generals actually have the tools. You guys remember, and they've only used one of these, okay? The mother of all bombs, right? The MOB, mother of all bombs. They used one of those in Afghanistan. One. Well, why didn't they use more? If you know where the enemy is, and tell me with the intel that we have that we can't figure out where the enemy is, right? If you know where the enemy is, we have the technology, wipe them out. Period. End of story. I don't get it. I don't get it. We fight wars with one hand tied behind our back. We let politicians dictate how things are going to be, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. If you are at war, war is war. Okay? We're not, you go in and you do what you got to do. That's how it should be. So that's just me. Maybe I'm a little bit more hardcore in that aspect because that's just how I feel. But I honestly believe we're about to get into something that's going to be really, really bad. And it's for a lot of reasons. And number one reason I believe personally is our economy is going down a toilet, right? Everything, the dollar is being devalued as we speak because we just keep printing more money over and over and over again. Everything is up. Gas prices, food, utilities, trying to take care of your families. It's getting worse and worse. And here's something else I know, and this goes up every year. I don't care how good the economy is. I don't care how bad the economy is. If you are paying health insurance out of pocket, all right, and I know for a fact because I did for years pay out of pocket. Every single freaking year, it went up and up and up. Insanity. I don't know how anybody in the United States affords health insurance. All right. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how our senior citizens on fixed incomes are able to survive in this country with everything that is going on. It is insane. They have to make decisions of do they eat or do they pay their bills or are they able to buy their medications that they need? The money's just not there. And the rich get richer, right? And they don't care. They're not going to do without. All these rules that they're putting in, we're going to go green, green, green garbage, right? All these rules that they're implementing, do you think that's going to affect the elites? Not at all, because they don't care how much something costs. What it's going to affect, it's everyday, hardworking Americans that are trying to keep their head above water, and how much is enough? How much is enough? And I believe that they really want us to get into a war. That's what they want because war is good for the economy. It's a great distraction, right? It's a great distraction. So, it's just the insanity is beyond me. It really, truly is. And I don't get it. So, Let me take a drink here real quick. So what do we get? 481 in the chat. We're at 207 on the thumbs up, which is less than half. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel, and I thank you ahead of time. Also, it makes a huge difference with the algorithm, so I do appreciate that for that reason as well. The more interaction, the better for the channel. Also, again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. I tend to not overly sympathize with the Palestinians. Those mothers and culture raised a group of savages who conducted the attack on Saturday. I agree with you. I agree with you, Karen. When you take your children, I want you to think about this. Let's put it in this perspective. Are you, as a human being, and you have children? This goes out for anybody that has children. Are you willing to sacrifice your children? Right? Are you the one that's playing Okie Forge here, JJ? Please take care of that as well. It's obviously game night, so just take care of that if you would, please. Are you willing to sacrifice your children? You know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not. My children mean a lot to me. But here's what happens. So think about this. Responsible people, right? How many children do you have? Well, if you're thinking about taking care of them and the cost of taking care of them, like I'll give you an example. When I got together with my ex-wife, she had Josh already. So Josh was 5 years old when I got together with her. Once we knew she was pregnant with the twins, we agreed at that point in time that we are going to. Yeah, thank you from the real Okie Forge. Exactly. Appreciate it, brother. We made the decision that that's it. 3 kids is enough. Affordability wise, kids are expensive. And so we made the decision we're not having any more. But what a lot of the Muslims do in this country and any other country, their agenda is to breed us out realistically. So they'll have 8, 10, 12 kids. So maybe in their mindset, if a couple of those boys go off and jihad themselves, that's perfectly acceptable. I don't know. I'm not in their shoes, so I don't know if that what anybody would think. But I don't care how many children I would have. I would never be willingly wanting to sacrifice my children's lives for whatever cause. No way. So, yeah, right. Will the real Okie Forge please stand up? Please stand up. But anyway, it's just the insanity is beyond anything. It's absolutely crazy. I like the way the American natives thought of land. They thought it belonged to everybody. You're right, and look what we did to them. And here's the other thing. Did we give it back? No, we did not. Back then, when we took something over, even when we went to war with Mexico way back in the day, we took over large sections that we said, okay, now this belongs to us, and that's the way it always went. Look what Great Britain did in the time when they were a superpower. They had a lot of the ownership of a lot of land all over the world. Now, when you spread yourself thin, right? Bubba One said we stole it from the Native Americans. And we pretty much almost wiped them out, Bubba One. That's the reality. So, that's it's unfortunate, but and that's not just America. Let's be clear, okay? That's not just America. Every country that's been a super power, they go and they pillage and they burn and they rape and they do all these different things. Spain did it. The UK did it. Britain, look at Germany. Look what Germany did, right? Look what Russia has done. When World War II ended, they kept large areas of the world and said they are now ours, and that's it. So, it happens. It's over and over and over throughout history. If you look at history, look what the mongrels did. The mongrels, what they would do if there was a city, and I want you to think about this. What the mongrels would do is they would encircle a city and they would kill everything in the city: men, women, children, animals, everything. Kill everything and leave one alive, and send them on down the road. Think about that. Now, the mongrels weren't so bad. They knew how to deal with war. They had a different mindset, and look what they conquered in that time frame. Look at Rome. Let's look at Rome. Rome at one point owned most of the known world. I mean, they were huge. But again, how did Rome fall, folks? Rome fell from within. Rome also fell because they were extended too far beyond their means, and it got expensive. Every piece of rock has been won or lost over war. Absolutely, Pam. You are 100% correct. Here's something I want you guys to think about, right? And this is something that I found it really interesting when I sat down and I thought about it. All right, in 100 years from now, 100 years from now, somebody else will probably own the property that you own right now, if you own property. Now, it might be somebody in your family if the family keeps it, but a lot of times they don't, right? Nobody's going to come visit your graveside. Nobody's going to even know, for the most part, that you existed at all, right? Because after you die, maybe your children will go to your gravestone and visit and feel loss and remorse and stuff like that. Their children, depending on how well they knew you, may or may not. But I will tell you this: your great grandchildren won't remember who you are at all. They won't know who you are at all. I mean, like my grandparents. Okay, when before my children were ever born, my grandfather had already passed. And when my twins were 1 year old, my grandmother passed away. So they never know who they were. They don't have any feelings or loss for them. They'll never go to my grandparents' gravestones and say, these were my great grandparents on my dad's side. It's not there. Okay. And that's what happens. So, we fight so hard and we work so hard to get this little small piece of something. And in 100 years, somebody else is going to be there, and they're not going to know who you were, right? They're not going to know any of that type of stuff. And even 100 years from now, like all these videos that I've done over the last 12 years, will they be there? Will they be available for somebody to watch? Will my great great grandchildren be able to say, that guy right there, that was my great great grandfather, or he was my whatever? I don't know if that'll be there or not. I have no idea. Or will it all just be gone? We don't know. So, and a lot of people don't know who their grandparents are too. It's a good point, you know. But anyway, that's just something to think about: the insignificance of all of us, realistically. We may think that we're important, and we looking at this, well, we're doing these great things or whatever, but like we know. Think about this, right? Yes or no in the comments. How many people know who the Wright brothers were, right? How many people know who the Wright brothers were? How many people know who Thomas Edison was, right? So you guys know who they are, because there's somebody that made a significant change in history, right? So that's we knew who those people were. Now, in that time frame, let's go with 1900, right? Do you know 25 people from 1900? There was millions of people on the planet in 1900. Do you know who 25 of those people were in 1900? So there's a yes or no question again. Can you name, not looking it up, right? Not looking it up and going, oh, Lord, there's this person, this person, this person. Do you know right now of 25 people who were alive in 1900? And most of us are going to say no. Yeah, Pelosi and Feinstein. Oh my God, that's too funny. But we can't name 25 people. Most of us can't, and that's the reality of things. So but I want to go back to what we're talking about. So I'm like way off track here, but I just wanted to kind of give you an idea. Genealogy. Well, yeah, that's a little bit different. But yeah, see, somebody said maybe six. Somebody else said maybe 10. Yeah, Keith Richards, right? Yeah, Keith Richards is going to live forever. So that's too funny. But again, those, like I said, those are things that just to put things into perspective. I mean, if you go back another 100 years, let's go back even further. Let's call it 1800, right? We probably don't really know very many people other than famous people that were alive in that time frame from the 1800s. So, but let's talk about here and now. Let's get back on this. What do we got? 484 in the chat. We're at 271 on the thumbs up. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so. We're going to set an early goal just for fun. We're going to go for 500. Let's see if we can hit 500 thumbs up. So early goal tonight. Let's see if we can bang that out of the park. So the goal is 500 thumbs up. So if you have not done that yet, and if all of you that are in here right now did it, there'd be another 200 thumbs up in here, and we'd be very close. So you want to shut me up about the thumbs up? Hit the thumbs up. Let's get us up to 500, and I won't ask for another one. All right. So thank you ahead of time. I do appreciate it. It really does make a big difference with the algorithms too. So for the interaction on the channel. So I thank you for that reason. Again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So anyway, back to the economy is atrocious. People are just barely keeping their heads above water. Something has to happen to galvanize us, to bring us together, right? For a common cause, and that generally means war or some event needs to happen to bring us all together and say, we're fighting this because, this horrible thing happened. I would not be surprised if something like that actually took place. Okay? Absolutely would not be surprised at all. That could be something like a sinking of one of our ships. That absolutely could be something that could happen. A lot of American soldiers, Navy personnel killed in some kind of an attack on a ship. That would not shock me. Wouldn't shock me at all. Could there be a possible attack on American soil? That would not shock me either. Okay. But it would have to be something that will galvanize us as a country to go after somebody because they have to distract us. Right now, people are not distracted. They're trying to focus on, just keeping their head above water, and there's no thought process of anything else right now because things are so bad. So many people are living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, New York City, it absolutely could happen. That would be a huge target because you could have huge losses in that situation. Huge huge losses in that type of a situation. And like I said, there are elements out there that want us destroyed as a country and all those type of things. So, because of the fact that we have a porous border right now, and it's that bad. On 9/11, I was worried about Michigan being targeted due to the auto industry. Well, and again, you didn't know. You didn't know what scale it was going to be, or what was going to do. But look what that did. Okay, regardless of what you feel happened on that date, all right, and a lot of people have different thoughts on what actually happened on that date. And I have my own thoughts. I should do a video and put it up on Rumble about that date and what I believe happened on that date. But what that did is it brought the country together, and we did a rah, 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 right? And then we went off and we destroyed two countries, right? That's kind of how it went down. Am I not correct on that? And we brought our firepower down on that, and and that was the end of the story. And and what's changed, realistically, right? What's changed? Thousands upon thousands of American soldiers dead, even more so wounded. Those that came back technically whole, not whole. There's 22 service member related suicides every single day in this country. That's really not talked about very much, right? Because of what they had to do and stuff like that. We allowed the passage of the Patriot Act, absolutely. And yes, again, Asif is 100% right on this one. The Patriot Act, and I talked about this before, the Patriot Act was written long before 9/11, right? Long before 9/11. And again, was it Franklin, I think, that said, if you give up your freedoms in the guise of safety, you will have neither, right? And that is correct. He's 100% correct. I think it was Franklin that said that. I'm not sure if I'm wrong. Whoever had that quote, if you guys could let me know, I would appreciate it. But one of those major people back in that day, that's what they said, and that's what the Patriot Act was. Ben Franklin did say it. Okay, yeah, I thought it was Franklin. But what happened after 9/11 is we gave up our freedoms in the guise of safety, which was why would it have been written ahead of time, right? Why would that have been written ahead of time if they didn't have? We're waiting for the event to enact this and have the people willingly embrace it. Oh, it's for your safety, right? But now they can spy on any one of us anytime they want to with no justification if they just decide to, right? All of a sudden you're somebody that they decide. It's just like you see what the news media is doing now, right? Everything is mega is bad. People that are support mega, oh, they're horrible. They're this, they're that, they're the other thing, and so it's all a big game. It's all a big game, and they have to have somebody that's the bad guy that they can blame everything on, and obviously, conveniently, they do that with Trump, right? He's the whipping boy, if you will. All of it is his fault. It's nobody else's fault, right? But that's not, yeah, basket of deplorables, exactly. Well, I'm proud to be deplorable, but the government is not something that I support at all. To be honest with you, I don't like government overreach. I don't like the control of what they want to try to do to us to keep us down. But I honestly feel that we are on a juggernaut right now, and it's going to happen sooner rather than later, where we're going to be in a war situation. We got too many irons in the fire. If you watch my video from earlier today, that I don't think got put out there on YouTube because I said too many irons in the fire. So let's ask in here. Did you guys get notification? Just this is a curiosity question. Um, did you guys get notification of the video that I did earlier today that went up at 3 o'clock? So I just want to see if you guys got that notice or not. Some yes, a few no's sprinkled in there. Okay. Um, I'm talking about we got too many irons in the fire. All right. So Dawn Hill says, nope, I never do. Isn't that crazy that you're subscribed to the channel but never get a notification when I put a video up? Isn't that nuts? Um, nope, but I watched it. Okay. But what I'm talking about is we got the situation in Ukraine, right? So we're basically fighting a proxy war there because we're supplying all the supplies or most of the supplies for Ukraine to fight that war. The situation with China and Taiwan, that's a hotbed waiting to explode and waiting for something to happen there. That's just a matter of time, in my opinion. That's just a matter of time before that sets off. And now we got this situation with Israel and Hamas. So there's three different things going on right there alone. And two of them are dealing with other superpowers, Russia and China, that you don't want to get into those situations. And, you know, it's insanity. It is absolute insanity. And it's almost as though they can't wait for us to get into a war situation because then they can distract us and get us all geared up again for whatever the case may be. So don't be surprised, right? Don't be surprised if there's some event that comes up here. You know, we have Thanksgiving on the way. We have Christmas. So somebody was asking me today, they're talking about Christmas and Thanksgiving being possible dates of something going down in this country, right? And I said, if it was me, and I'm like I said again, I always have to try to look at it as if I'm the enemy and I want to do maximum damage. So which one of the two holidays do you think would be the better one to try to pull something off on? And I'll tell you what my thought process, which one it would be, and why I think that way. So Dawn's saying it would be she would choose Christmas. So guys, Christmas or Thanksgiving in the comments. What do you think? So it's kind of a mix, about 50-50, saying Christmas or Thanksgiving. I will tell you why I believe Christmas. All right, I believe it's going to be Christmas. If something were to go down, could be a random date, but major Christian holiday, major Christian holiday. And if I'm an enemy of the country and I want to destroy this country, you do it on a day when you can inflict the most damage. So Christmas would be my choice because most people are traveling. A lot of people travel. Think about how many people travel in this country to go visit family, to be with family for Christmas and that type of stuff. And it's a very, very important holiday for Christians, right? Because it's all about the birth of Jesus and all this type of thing. So that would be a date for that. Plus, we're technically in winter at Christmas. It's winter time. So if I have all my sleeper cells turn on, go after, shut down the power grid, not only are you not home, number one, right? You're not home because you're off visiting relatives here, there, or the other place. So that just throws a huge snafu into everything. Um, so you have that. It's wintertime. So it's not like you're going to go out and pick apples off the apple tree because there's no apples on the apple tree at Christmas time, right? So you have that situation. The cold weather is going to kill a whole bunch of people if the power grid is down. So there's a lot of reasons why Christmas to me, if I was an enemy of the state, why I would pick around that time or on Christmas, Christmas Eve, whatever the case may be. Because again, you hit those target areas that you want to hit, cause as much chaos as you possibly can. Now, first of all these people that have traveled, they need to get back home. They need to get back home. So that's the first thing. Before they can do anything else, before they can be ready or anything like that, they got to get home. So they can't, they're all scrambling, trying to get home, and it's probably complete chaos, especially where you're getting gas, right? If the grid's down, you're not getting gas. There'll be accidents everywhere. The cops aren't going to be out there, folks. The emergency services are not going to be out there. They're going to be home taking care of their families, which they should be. Okay? I mean, that's the reality of it. And where's the military, right? Oh, I know where our military is, spread out all over the world because we got our fingers in so many pies, right? We don't have that many military. I mean, we have some here, obviously, but we don't have as many as we should have here because we haven't been attacked in the United States. We don't need to worry about that, right? We should. We should be worried about that. So those are things that people need to really think about ahead of time. Again, there's a lot of scenarios that could play out that would not go well. Now, would we bounce back? Would we recover? Absolutely, we would. But there would be a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion. There would be a lot of looting because certain people like to take advantage of any situation where there's a power outage or some disaster, and there's a certain element of the society, right? They will always go and loot and try to take whatever they can. That's how it goes. So, but that's just my thoughts on that. And how many would die due to the cold and no heat? A lot. Village homestead, a lot, because if you think about it, it's not like 100 years ago where everybody had a wood stove, everybody had their own garden, and they preserved and they canned and they had a nice stocked pantry and they were ready to go. We've talked about this many, many times. 95% of the people in this country, 95% are not prepared for a 2-week disaster. So how many victims is that, folks? Think about it. Now they got no power. They can't stay warm because they don't have a wood stove, so they can't do that. They have no food put away. What are you going to do? And they're not prepared. I mean, I can remember my neighbors that were right to my right of me. Their one son always wore shorts. I don't care if it was the middle of winter. This moron, because he was, would always wear shorts, always. And I always thought, my thought process was always this: what happens if something happens and he needs to try to get back home, and this moron's wearing shorts in the middle of winter? It isn't going to end well. But I call that natural selection, personally. But you know, but yeah, people don't have the tools to be able to collect wood. How many people, realistically, if you think about it, how many people have axes? How many people have hand saws? Cross-cut saws. Hardly anybody's got a cross-cut saw because everybody's got a chainsaw. But as soon as you run out of fuel, as soon as you run out of barber oil, that chainsaw is worthless, right? So something to think about, something to think about. But anyway, well, Viking Prepper goes, I do axes and saws. Well, me too, brother. But that's because we're preppers. We're planning. We're thinking ahead. We're trying to be as ready as we possibly can be. Most of the people out there are not. All right, so we're at 5:15. We got 360 thumbs up. We need 140 more because the goal is 500. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time. Do appreciate that. And also, it really does make a huge difference, again, with the algorithms. So the more action that we interaction on the channel is better for the channel. So I appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time. So on that note, let's do egg count. How many eggs today? And yes or no for Miss Thickneck. So let's keep them thumbs up coming. Get me to shut up faster, and we'll go from there. So we'll go from there with that. The goal's 500 thumbs up. So we're at 393, so another 107, and I won't ask again for the rest of the stream. So the sooner you guys make it happen, the sooner I shut up about it. And like I said, it's just a game anyway, so, help me win my game. All right, so give you guys another moment to get your guesses, and we will go from there. All right. If you had the same guess, a lot of you, right in the beginning, you had the right count, but you had the wrong answer. If you had the same guess as Katrina D, Katrina D is the winner today with 3 eggs. And yes for Miss Thickneck. There was like 4 of you right in the very beginning that all said 3 and no. And I'm like, oh, they're going to be so mad. But Katrina D was the first one with the correct answer, which is 3 eggs and yes. So congratulations to Katrina D. You are the winner. And so congratulations to you. I don't think she's won before. I don't remember if I don't think she has. So. But yeah, this is a time of year actually when a lot of birds are molting anyway. So the egg count is going to be down generally because of that. They never added any new birds this year. So Becky did not add any new birds, which she should have done. We got some of them are getting older, and that's part of the problem. They're getting older. We didn't get any new blood in there this year, to get that going. So that's part of the problem of why I think the egg counts have not been great this year. Then Becky overfed the chickens and they all got fat and lazy. So, and that happens too. I mean, so she has her favorites out there, but they're fun. The chickens are fun. All right, so 411, so 89 more now. 89 more thumbs up gets us at our goal of 500. So, what are we yes and knowing? Okay, Chance, we have one of the chickens up in New York. Her name is Thickneck. She is an Easter egger. And Easter eggers lay a bluish green egg. Okay, so she's the only Easter egger that we have. All the rest of the chickens lay brown eggs. So that's why we ask yes or no for Miss Thickneck, because she is our only Easter egger. And so that's why she's part of the contest of how many eggs and yes or no for her, because she's our only Easter egger. And so that's why we know if she laid or not, because if there is not a bluish green egg in the nesting boxes, then she did not lay. So no, her eggs don't taste any different. No, the like I said, any if you raise chickens yourself compared to store bought eggs, it is night and day. Absolutely night and day. You looking even at the yolk, the difference in color, excuse me, of your eggs is unbelievable. Thick neck. Let's see, how old is she now? She's got to be up there. She's got to be about 5, I think. So I think that she's about 5. Need to incubate her eggs and get more thick necks. Yeah, I know. They should definitely do that up there. They could do that. Maybe I'll talk to Beck. I'll bring her up I'll take one of them back up because I didn't realize that the incubators. I got the 2 incubators, and each one of them will hold. I think it's 12 eggs, I believe. So I don't know. I'd have to look at it again. It might be more than 12, but a lot of chickens. But you know, anyhow, so like I said, we have to, we all have decisions that we got to make. We have choices that we got to do here. We have to make a decision of what are we going to do, what we can control, what can we do to put ourselves in a situation. Uh, I want you to think about this, and we're going to. I'm always going to use the scenario of the power grid because to me that is the most plausible thing that could happen. Okay, but it also could be an economic collapse as well. That's very realistic. But either one of those 2 scenarios, it ends up being the same result. Okay, the same result would be there'd be no money. Money would be worthless. You wouldn't be able to get gas either way, right? You wouldn't be able to do anything. And you think about the fact that 95% of the people are not prepared for a 2-week disaster. You're talking about a lot of people that are going to be victims. There's a lot of victims waiting to happen, and they're not prepared for it, and they don't know what to do if that happens. They have no idea what to do. So, what you're looking at is a situation where the haves and the have-nots, and those of us that are prepared are going to be in much, much better situation to deal with what is coming. But again, the important thing to remember is you also better be ready to defend what you have from those that don't have it that are going to come and try to take what you have. If you're a prepper and you're thinking you're going to make it on your own, I want you to go in this scenario. You live in suburbia or you live in a city, right? Either one, basically the same exact thing. Even in the country to a degree. If you are by yourself, it's just you, husband, wife. Let's go with 3 kids, right? 3 kids between the ages of 5 and 14. All right, let's go with that situation. Now, SHTF happens. You're going to be on your own because you're not going to be involved with anybody. You're not going to be involved with any group. And there you are. And you have what you need to have to survive. But all your neighbors don't. None of them do, right? They're not ready at all because the majority of your neighbors are not going to be ready. But here you are. You've got your wood stove going. You're nice and toasty warm. It's the middle of winter. How long do you think it's going to be before you get that knock on the door? And your neighbors there saying, hey, we don't have this, we don't have that. Can you help us out? And if you refuse them, right, if you go, no, I can't help you, well, you're warm. You guys obviously haven't lost any weight, so we know you're eating, right? What are you going to do? What are they going to do? They may go away at first. And then they're going to formulate a plan, and they're going to come back. And they may not come back alone. There may be a group of them, 20, 30, right? And it's you, the wife, and a couple of kids, right? What do you think's going to happen? What do you think the end result's going to be? Now, they may not get any of the food because you're going to fight to the last breath, but they're going to burn you out. They're going to kill everybody in that house. And if you don't get burned out, they're still going to kill everybody in that house, and they're going to take everything that you have. All right? That's reality, folks. So no matter how prepared you are, if you're trying to make it alone, is not going to end well. It's not going to end well at all. So you need to have a plan. You need to know what you're going to do. I have encouraged for a very long time to be involved in a group. I think that it is very important. I think that if you want to survive long term, you better have people that you know are going to have your back. That's important. Make those relationships now. Get to know those people. Work together. Because if you don't, I'm going to tell you exactly, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. When, when SHTF happens, right? Not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When SHTF happens, one of two things are going to happen to you. One of two things. You will end up being part of a group, guaranteed. You will do it for your survival. You will do it for the survival of your children. But it may not be the type of group you want to be involved with, but you're going to have to do what you have to do to be part of that group to make it, right? That's a fact. And I don't care what you say you will or won't do right now, because it's really easy to say what you will and won't do when you got a full belly, when you got lights on, when you got your heat, your air conditioning, all your creature comforts are there, all your addictions are there, whatever they may be. It's very easy to say what you would do or what you wouldn't do. But in a survival situation, it's a whole different ball game, and that's a fact. So you will be part of a group. So to me, why would you not want to try to figure out what kind of group you want to be in now, right? And what you're willing to do. Or the second choice is, right, in a true SHTF situation, you'll be dead. Period. Because you ain't making it on your own. You may make it on your own for a long time. Maybe you get away with it and you're on your own and it's just you and the wife and kids and you get away with it for 2 years. But eventually, somebody's going to come along, some group is going to come along and realize what you have, and they want it and they're going to take it. And that's a fact. So that's a fact. So how many groups are out there? There's a ton of different kind of groups out there. A ton of different kinds of groups. So you have your militias. If that's what you want to be part of, go for it. Be part of a militia. If you want to be part of a religious cult group, go for it. Have a good time with that too, okay? If you want to be part of an anti-government group that's looking to actively overthrow the government, I wish you the best of luck with that one as well, okay? You will get those people in a true SHTF situation that they're the Messiah, and you're going to possibly end up in that kind of group. It could happen. What kind of group that we have here, and I talk to everybody, anybody that wants to be part of what we're doing here, I tell people we are not a militia, number one. We are not a militia. Number two, we might be mostly anti government, but we're not looking to overthrow the government. All right. What we are is a group of like minded people that, when the time comes, have agreed that we're going to work together, we're going to come together, and we're going to survive and thrive. That's what we plan on doing. And these people that are coming down here, and I've talked about this before, this is my family. They're my family. And that's what we're creating here. We're creating a brother and a sisterhood, and we're creating a family. And we will have each other's back. And I know a lot of you will sit there, and I've had so many people say, oh, these people, they'll turn on you when the time comes. Well, why would they? Why would they? If we've been planning and working and working together for months or years, okay, you know, why would they turn on you when the most critical time? It makes absolutely no sense to me. It makes no sense when it is in the best interest to work together. You know what I mean? So, but something to think about, folks. Just putting it out there. You know, we, like I said again, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know when it's going to happen. I just feel like we do not have a lot of time. I believe that time is getting short. I think that they are really amping things up, and they want something to happen. And so, you know, those are things that you need to think about and you need to plan for now. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say. I'm not. Listen, I'm always looking for new people to come in if they're interested in being part of what we're doing. Okay, that I'll put that out there because I've talked about that before. I'm not telling you you have to join my group. I'm not telling you Oh, we're the greatest group in the whole world. But if you watch the videos of what we're doing and what we're accomplishing, we're pretty organized. We're pretty squared away, and we got good people in this group. And that's what's more important to me more than anything else is the character, the people, and stuff like that. And it's really important. So yeah, a lot of Americans are now soft sheep. You got that right. They sure are. And and like I said again, I will put it like this to you again. All right, and I've said this before, and like let's use Southern Prepper One. Let's use Southern Prepper One as an example. Southern Prepper One has a group as well. Anybody that watches YouTube, anybody that watches prepper channels knows that Southern Prepper One has a group, right? I have a group. The worst decision that you could make after an SHTF event is to attack a prepper group, and I will tell you why. Well, if you have a death wish, I would encourage you to do so. If you don't want to be around, I encourage you to go after a prepper group because most likely, if they are a prepper group, they are prepared for every contingency as much as we can be. Right? That's just a fact. Um, and yeah, suicide by prepper, exactly. Most people, marauding groups of people that think that they're tough guys, once they go out there and they've attacked some people and they've done what they've wanted to do, they're going to get used to attacking soft targets. All right, a prepper group is not going to be a soft target. That's not going to be a target where you think, hey, I'm going to go in and I'm going to hit these guys because they're easy pickings. Prepper groups are not going to be easy pickings. You're going to have to stay vigilant. You're going to have to stay on top of stuff. You're going to have to pay attention. Yeah, no, I know it's time. We got to give me just a second, guys. See, my moderators are on me because I'm always distracted and not paying attention, which I wasn't. But those are things I want you to think about, though. Okay? You know, I appreciate when Mark Milton comments on your channel to us all about situations. Yeah, he does a great job. He absolutely does a great job on that. So I agree, unless you're caught off guard. Right. But Chewy, if you are a prepper group, okay, and SHTF happens, we're going to do shout outs here in just a second. If you're a prepper group and SHTF happens, you have to have a plan. And it's not a plan for a couple of months. It's not a plan for 6 months. It's going to be a way of life from that time moving forward. And you better have that plan. You better have that plan. Because if you don't, long term, and again, you got to also remember the key of surviving an SHTF situation, okay? The key to surviving an SHTF situation is making it through the first year. Because after 1 year, 90% of the population will be gone. 90%. And that's not unrealistic. That means we're all going to lose loved ones. That's a fact. Okay? Just putting it out there because it's a fact. We're all going to lose people that we care about and that we love because they were not ready, they did not listen, they did not prepare, and they're not willing to work harder at it. You know what I mean? So that's something to think about. Just putting it out there, just sharing info. So, and again, are you actively working towards Are you actively working towards preparedness? That's the important thing too. So just there we go with that. But anyway, so we're at 414 in the chat. We're at 456, so we're 44 away from 500. The goal is 500. So if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. Again, once we hit 500, I will not ask for another thumbs up. I promise you that will not happen. I did it the other night. We hit our goal, and I shut up and didn't ask for any more. So again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. I thank you ahead of time. Also, again, with the algorithms, it makes a huge, huge difference. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So thank you ahead of time for that as well. All right. First of all, Heavenly Hills Homestead. They're growing giant vegetables. Really cool channel. And so definitely check them out as well. We have a new channel we're shouting out as well. Truly Tara 76. She's a makeup channel, but she's a good person. So actually, she's a new member of the group as well. Her and her husband. So they just joined us, and so definitely check out her channel if for those of you that are into makeup. If you want to look good for the apocalypse, you need makeup tips, right? So there we go. So definitely check her out, and I appreciate that support over there. So we have Icky Can as well up in Canada, and there is Angry Prepper. That's Jason down in New York City. Great guy, definitely a good dude as well. There is Alaska Prepper. That's Rudy um, up in Alaska doing his thing up there. There's Alaska Granny. You have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance. Two different channels, same guy. Um, Definitely check him out. Master Builder. He's up in Canada building his off-grid property up there. And watching him build and the way he builds stuff is just crazy. He's just that good. We have Demcat. I like Demcat a lot. I think he gives a lot of good information out there. There is Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. You have 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. There is Bizariza Jizza who does the Carrington Chronicles. Interesting thing there with that, so definitely check him out as well. You have Marfugal News. That's Adam and Dax out on the West Coast doing their thing out there. There is Magic Prepper. He's in North Dakota. You have Wrangle Star. That is Cody. A lot of great information on his channel, so definitely check him out as well. There's Red Poppy Ranch. You have Survival Lily, giving you all the information of what's going on right now in Europe. You have Kyle's Cabin. Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota doing their thing, living off grid up there. Nice young couple. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. Husband and wife team, two different channels. A lot of good information with them. They split their time between Alaska and Michigan, so definitely check them out as well. You have Green Greg's, another really good channel. A lot of good information on his channel. Southern Prepper 1, he has the Boots on the Ground series. A lot of good information comes out of his channel, letting you know what's going on around the country. You have Gray Man Prepping. There is Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around a long time. Great channel there. Definitely check them out as well. You have the Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Nice young couple down there living off grid in Panama. The Green Dream Project. They are out in Arizona. Nice young couple out there showing you what it's like to live in the desert. You have Camping with Steve. There's Steve Wallace, who does stealth camping. Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. She's been around a long time. Really good channel there. Boss of the Swamp. Another guy who's an amazing builder. Very fun to watch him build. You have Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. There is Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. You have City Prepper. There is Lumina Acres. You have Suspicious Observer, giving you all the information of what's going on with the sun and all that type of stuff. Very, very cool. You have Bear Independent. There is the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. You have Mary Greeley News. She's giving you all the latest updates of what's going on with Yellowstone, the earthquakes, and everything else. There's Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. There is Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall's a great guy, gives back to the community in a huge way, and that's a good thing. That is a good thing. You have Russell Brand. He gives you the information. He just says it like it is, and he lets you decide what you want to do with it. They are trying to shut him down, especially over in the UK. They don't want him putting his information out there because he's making people think. Heaven forbid that you actually think, right? Deep South Homestead, another very family-friendly oriented channel. I got a lot of respect for them as well, so definitely check them out as well. The Outsider up in Maine, another good guy. You have the Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. Simple Life Reclaimed. You have Townsend's. Townsend's is another good channel showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s, and I think we can all pick up tips from that, and I think that is a good thing. You have the Prepared Mind. There is Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. You have the Economic Ninja. And last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. A lot of good channels out there, a lot of good information. So I would encourage you to check out different channels. You guys are putting other channels in the chat as well, which is absolutely fine. There's a lot of good information out there. I think we need to be diversified. 80K Man says, thank you. I'd appreciate the shout out. No problem, brother. No problem at all. I believe we should be supporting each other. I really do. And, if we all start giving each other shout outs, no matter how much they try to censor us, no matter how much they try to, not let our information get out there, if we're all shooting out shout outs for each other, I think that is a good thing. I don't know how many other channels do shout outs. I don't, because I'm not paying attention to that. I just think that it's a good thing and we should be doing it. So that's why I do it. So we're at 489, guys, on the thumbs up. So we're 11 away from the goal. So again, as soon as we hit the goal, I will not ask for another thumbs up. And can't find Ice Age Farmer anymore? Really? Okay. Maybe he's gone. I don't know. Maybe he's gone. But, it's... But anyway, so we're now we're 5 away. 5 away. We're at 495. So as soon as we hit the goal, I won't ask again. And thank you ahead of time once again. But again, I do believe we should be all supporting each other on these prepper channels. We're a small community. Realistically, we're a small niche group of people. There's not a ton of us out here. So I think that the more that we support each other, the better off that we'll all be. So that's why I do the shout outs. That's why I think it's important that we continue to do so. So that's just my take on it. And now we are 3 away, guys. Now we're 2 away. 498 right now, so 2 away. So let's get there. And then, like I said again, I won't ask again for the rest of the stream. So in the last 9 minutes, right? So there it is. We hit the goal. So thank you so much. I do appreciate that. And we did set that one kind of early. We set that one 30 minutes in. So you guys are awesome. You killed it. So I will not ask again. But if you would like to, go right ahead. All right. Oh, my goodness. Okay, we are legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? And the good legion, not the bad biblical legion. Let me just put that out there as well. So where is everybody at tonight? We got Ozark Hillbilly of Arkansas, Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge, UP of Michigan with Dawn, Central New York with Village Homestead, Palatico, Idaho with Janita, Fayetteville, North Carolina with Carol, West Coast of Florida with Kit, Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house, Ontario, Canada with Dave, Western New York with Ken, BC, Canada with Janet, Leesburg, Florida with Joan, Western North Carolina Black Mountains, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania's in house, beautiful Pennsylvania Wilds with Pennsylvania Granny, North Central Wisconsin with Joan. We got Utica, Washington with Jill, Hollywood, Florida with Donna, SLC, Utah with MK, Western New York with Karen, another Upper Michigan with Uper, Bellevue, North Carolina with Tim, Dust Devil in Texas, St. Augustine, Florida with Diane, Emil in BC, Canada, Cape Cod, Mass is in the house. We got Virginia with Kenny, Christmas, Washington State with Christina, Catskills, New York. We have Campbell, Missouri with Antonio, East Central Illinois with Lana, Missouri and the Ozarks with Delbert, Penny's up in Maine, Fargo, North Dakota with Dorian. We got Michigan in the house with Bubba One, Madison, Minnesota. We got Hancock, Maryland is in the house, Troutman, North Carolina with Troy, Adams, Kentucky with Don, Trenton, Georgia with Karen. So again, guys, we are absolutely all over the place. We are a huge, huge network of people. We are the ones that truly can make a difference. We got San Bernardino, California with the Garden Life, Prepper down in Virginia. So we got Arizona's in the house, West Central Ohio with Dale. So again, we can make a difference now. Manchester, England, very nice with Mark. Glad you stayed up late with us, my friend, and joined us. Brooklyn, New York with Carnival Fit. Canasarega, New York with Canasarega Girl. So, but, we can make a difference now by trying to wake people up, trying to help people. And Green Tucky, Indiana with Anthony. way northern New York with Mama Wolf near Cornwall, Canada. Wow, okay. Western Kentucky with Greg. Critter Lover down in Virginia. So again, we can make a difference now by trying to wake people up. I think that the biggest contribution that we will make is after an event when we will be in a position to help educate people to teach them how to survive. I think that that's going to be really important to do so. We got Chewy in Hillsboro, Oregon. I found Waldo down in Texas. So not many from Arizona. Well, people are moving. People are moving constantly. Trying to find that right spot. I think that that's important. You know, I think that that's important. You got to find that right location. Location is everything. Long-term survival location is going to be key. Being in the middle of the desert is not really a good idea unless you have a ton of water stored away, and you know that you can get more. So that's important. We got Southern Mississippi with Belinda's in the house. Don Hill says, I wouldn't be in Arizona for no amount of money. Me neither, honestly. I'll be honest with you. I like my mountains. I like being able to control the high ground. I think that that is very, very important. We got Linda in Perrine, Miami, Florida. So, but yeah, I definitely, I like having the high ground. I like being in the woods. There's advantages to that. Having access to water is going to be hugely important. More important, probably than anything else. We got to have water. So, Flagstaff, Arizona isn't in the mountains. So somebody was saying that that's the mountains. Now, controlling the high ground, guys, if you have the high ground and you can control that and look down and dictate who's coming up or who's not coming up, that's going to be hugely important. And honestly, in an SHTF situation, most people are going to take the path of least resistance, flat and down. They're not going up. They're not going to be looking going up. It's going to be too difficult. It's going to take too much energy. And so if you are in the high ground and you own the high ground, and especially if you are fortified with that, we got Iowa's in the house. Very nice. That's what makes it, to me, I'm always looking strategically of where I wanted to be, and that's why I picked this spot where I'm at right now. I love the spot. It's very strategically friendly. The soil is not so much, but that can be worked on, and but you know, that's kind of where we're at with that. So I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. They are awesome. They do such a great job. So, ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me, very much appreciate it, and you guys are awesome. Also, I want to thank all you guys for being here. You guys are amazing as well, and I appreciate the support. Appreciate the, yeah, Gettysburg is a great example. Little Round Top, yep, controlling the high ground made all the difference in that battle. But again, I appreciate the support. You guys ask great questions, which I think is also good. And we always need to be thinking and planning and being as ready as we can be, because that time is coming. I said again, I don't know when it's going to be. I personally hope we got a lot more time. If we get a lot more time, we're going to be in a lot better situation. I mean, you look at where we've come in a year here at the homestead here, and how much we've gotten accomplished, which is a ton, which is a lot. And it's just going to get better and better. So the more time we get, the better situation we're going to be in here, preparedness wise. And I think that that's really, really important. I want you guys to remember we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. And I really wish people would figure that one out. Obviously, they're not around the world as we can see. But if we could ever come together as human beings, what we could accomplish in a positive way would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I wish we could do that. I really do. We have to stop letting them divide us over race, religion, political affiliation. Those things are all nonsense. They don't mean a thing. They really don't. We have to come together as humans. Also remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day, tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, whatever you are trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from achieving your goals is you. That's it. If you set realistic goals, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Um, Set about, make it happen. Stay away from negative people that tell you what you can't accomplish, and you're going to get there. All right. Be safe, everybody. Keep prepping. I am very happy again to say that JJ had his surgery. He's here in the chat tonight, and he is on the road to recovery. So no more surgeries, JJ. Let's let that be the last one. And good recovery and long life, brother. All right. Y'all be good. I will see you later. Prepper Nurse 1 out, and we're at 521, so well above the goal. So that's awesome as well. So I thank you all for that. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1 out for now. Yes, I see you. I know. Stop.